Hello and welcome back to Phoenix Wright's Attorney, where today we will be doing the continuing on with the trial for the final days. Let's go. We're going to try and get Chief Gant in trouble here. Sorry, didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making it to run all around on duty. So top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Yeah, she has to give history if there was a break to today's trial. Evidence law? Chief Prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. She said if you're planning to take him on, I'm going to need this book. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the Chief Prosecutor's step. That's where you're wrong, Detective. Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. Your credibility's been undermined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. No, Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely struck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. Right. Courts will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth our witness. But, this isn't easy to say. See, there is some concern that you, Miss Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defence to call forth all further witnesses. But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defence accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. Mr. Wright, you do realise this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Defence calls. Damon Gant. The defence calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to be manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honour? True, alright. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Oh, here he is. Oh, witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I'm just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. work. Are you sure you want to do it? Your name and occupation. So you want to play hardball, eh? Fine. My name is Damon Gantz. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gantz, call request to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that the police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. Our throat is gone. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up and power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crimes. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see, if it is pretty clear cut. Oh, let's press him on everything. As I recall, so many was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Sky also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. So the two ran immediately after that. That's right, Dark made it to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. Hold that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart though. Oh wow. Huh, he's just gonna die. Could you tell us what you saw? If it was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. That's right. I think you said earlier it was my suit of armour that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already been taking place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. But moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter what the circumstances. Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. You're going to stare at anything. You get it for staring at the corner. Worthy, always a smooth talk. Somehow I've got to link that to the incident. Okay. Well, obviously it's going to be the forgery. Let's present. The fragment was found in Chief Gant's safe. Yes. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? You're not paying to work? Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence you've found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Let's see, what was it now? A jar of fragments and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. They were found after Dark was convicted, and they're worthless. There's no reason I participated in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I will press charge, so you won't make the same mistake again. Today is, well, you know. All right, Audrey. In return, though, I know, that place, right? It's time to press it all again. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Raito's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. Suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Wright. Are you saying this jar of Wright wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not, after it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have been suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sent. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. Chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. I'm now right. Think about it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember, who was it that murdered him? But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Sky. Well, now do you see? Really, Chief? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reap from all of this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Be careful when pointing that finger. You might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worth. You know me better than that. There are only three people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's only open now. RG, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, wasn't it? If you think I feel sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people, that's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Would there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone? True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then, who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Take that! Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant. I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. He plays with puppets? Oh wait, you must mean puppets. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Right, oh my boy, you have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana, just keep it quiet, Protector. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless it is also what happened in this incident. Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honour, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order, order. I said order. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in outlaw enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That is impossible. Nothing's impossible. Your Honour, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief high-ranking officer of the law is involved in this murder? Good question. Yes, he can. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. I see. Alright, let's see what this is. And it better be good. It's gonna be the code, right? It's gotta be. Yeah, let's go. It's gotta be the ID list. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we could determine the owner of yesterday. 777777. Sorry, there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. You don't mean? I'm afraid so, Your Honour. The code was 777777. Same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defence's search of my office was in violation of regulation. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime? What about it? I'm chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't happen to be with you that day, would he? Of course. Why would he be? I haven't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gant. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honour. To determine the truth. Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime. Then we need to determine one thing. what transpired during that meeting. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Source proof. The victim went to meet Chief Gant on a date. Okay? Where is it? It's the half-written document. So the clue submitted to the Chief of Police. There we go. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. Oh, he filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh, Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Oh, exactly. But wait, the Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes, now that you mention it. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the records, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. Why, she's Super Saiyan eyes. Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur of the moment crime, so no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright. The victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need. Prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used. You know what? It can't be the screwdriver. Brought back to the office by Gant's request. I'm gonna try. This is how we move Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Ah! After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean I... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious why. The body was moved by that car. Oh, damn. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Scott. Order! Order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defence's outrageous accusation? Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up. Sorry, Wright, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. You have to get going if we're to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. Police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away from all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worm. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? If you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, you think I'd Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Oh, CRG. In that case, this court is forced to penalise you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Writer. Seems that Lady Luck is on my side again today. Okay, RG, I'll leave the rest to you. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Lady Luck. Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honour of hearing her testimony. Lady who knows the truth, another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. So someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this person? Why are you asking me? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? Yeah, sure. The defense calls for the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Chief Gant, thought you were going to... Listen, good Lord. It's talking to Lon. I don't think you need me to tell you this. But if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Huh? This isn't good. Of course you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway. Right. Just something to think about. Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet. Why you just come out here and done that? Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. That's crazy. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Ed. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gums. Ah, I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, don't worry, I've already decided where to work. That's your office. My office? Sure, I'll take the place of that top 9 girl you used to work. What do you mean? Maya. Still, looks like we're all out of booze. Chief Gant's done it again. How does he always get stuff out? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said. Risks. What did he mean by that? Simple. The chief refuses to testify. The opposite also is true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Hello, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, sorry for what I said before. Oh no, don't be, it was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. I think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. She did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean to Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside to force herself to do anything and everything Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marsh. Hey, you don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery. Hey, you can't fool my memory. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there, and Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Wow, okay. Man, this whole episode 5 has been like a whole game. It's been over 7 hours. Nearly. That's crazy. Anyway, thank you for watching. I will be back next time with the finale of the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game, where we will finally get Chief Gant arrested for the murder of Bruce Goodman. So thank you. So see you next time. Goodbye.